my children, you don't have control of me. They shut our doors and try to give us God Fauci. To hell with Fauci.
Fuck Fauci! He's a fraud! Fucking criminal!
Churches are surrendering their pulpits to the demonic hostile. I'm not coming to your church. You're not getting my tithe. Are you crazy? Take your children out of school. I'm a former educator of 24 years. They stopped teaching them years ago. You just didn't know.
Yep. Facts.
You just didn't know.
Facts.
Education went to hell years ago.
Facts.
They taught them compliance.
Yep.
They stopped teaching them to think. Analytical thought went out the window with state exams. Those state exams are just being used to track your children, to determine who's going to college, to train them to support this God-forsaken system. All the rest that's going elsewhere. They have pushed us into prison. I don't care how you look at it. If you're in corporate America, you're imprisoned by your lifestyle. If you're in the government, you're imprisoned by your job with good benefits. You understand? If you are on subsidy, you're imprisoned by their benefits. We have to get out their system, pull yourself out, pull your dollars out, and level it.
Boom shakalaka, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters around the world. It is your boy Chris Shule, aka the Esoteric Noetic, aka the Chocolate Nubian Soul Brother from Ghana, West Africa, aka
the Chocolate Yoda. What the fuck we this week? Spend your ass I will. If you continue with this, really? We are under the stream spell, we are.
Be sure to like the video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, tell your mum, drop us some comments. You can rely on me, because I'm True Blue. Let's get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wake up from this dream spell. Arise, my fellow truth seekers, my fellow believers of liberty, my fellow misfits, the Aquarians, those that will stand in the face of tyranny, plant themselves like a tree beside the river of truth and say, nay! And for those that say, meh, well, I salute you too. You can tune into my feeds. I don't discriminate. Unlike a lot of you anti-waxxers out there, anti-vaxxers, vaxxers. There's been a lot of discrimination going on. I met a girl recently that told me that she didn't want to hang out with any people that had taken the juice. And I'm like, why? I mean, I told her, look, between you and me, I ain't having that. But look, if people want to take something, I'm not going to... Actually, you know what? I am going to hold it against them. Because they are supporting this ridiculous... But it's interesting, the takes that people have on this kind of stuff. There are some people that don't want to have anything to do with people that are taking the juice. Believe me, I've met them. Under the reason that they believe that these people are supporting a regime that is depriving us of our freedoms, of our human rights. Not because they're against the Jews per se, but just because they see what is going on. There's some people that are very much against being around anyone that supports this kind of tyranny, and people that have acquiesced to that by taking the jabby, the mark of the beast as they call it, some of them. Well, they don't want to hang out with them. And then there are some people that, whereas they're completely against the coercion, the violence, they believe in people having the right to decide what they put in their body. I would fit into the latter camp. Now, granted, I do not like momos, unless you're pretty and you got big Babylons. But I do respect people's ability to make decisions for themselves. And without that, we can only have tyranny. There are some people that I've even heard make the argument that they think, and these are the actual anti-waxxers, right? These are the people that fit the original definition of anti-vaxxers, right? They don't actually want anyone taking this thing. Yeah, there are people like that have made the argument that they see whatever it is as not being a good thing. Therefore, they don't want anyone to even have the decision to take this thing. And that's a very dangerous road to go down. Just because you think something is bad, not because it is infringing on someone's right, not because someone is directly harming someone, but because you just don't like it. And it's that same kind of mentality that has brought us where we are. I mean, people do this with drugs. They say you shouldn't be able to take these substances because they're not good for you. And I don't want you harming yourself. You shouldn't be able to have consensual sex with someone because I look at that as being disgusting. No homosexuality. Then you have people that want to apply their sense of aesthetics, their sense of religiosity into the world. Tell people that they should not have any other religion other than the one true religion. And if you do not fall in line with this religion, well, you must be hunted down. You must kneel before Zod. You must kneel before the Almighty God. Otherwise, you will be whacked. And it's this kind of thinking that has actually gotten us into the place that we're in at the moment. Because we moved away from this understanding that a consent-based system of ethics is essentially how we run a lawful system, provided you are not committing force or fraud or violating anyone's consent. You should be able to do as you will. Now we've moved into the realm of, well, I think this is good for you, so I'm going to force you to do this thing. And a friend of mine asked me just yesterday that he never imagined that, well, he asked me if I would ever have thought we would have been in the situation we are in now a couple of years back, before all this thing popped up. And I thought to myself, given what we have done in the past, given the trajectory, given things like the National Defense Authorization Act that was put into place by Obama. But you see, you got to understand that the National Defense Security Act was done in the interests of the greater good. It was because all these people we care about deeply, and we wanted to protect them. We love them. But you see the same kind of arguments that were used back then, the same kind of arguments that have been used throughout all of history, and you can see this snowball effect. These arguments becoming more outlandish along the lines of health, safety. Up till the very most recent event in Australia with Vuxic, where the immigration minister essentially has made the argument that the Vuxic, because he is a threat, and when they say he is a threat, they mean because he might inspire people by simply being who he is, not advocating for any violence. He might inspire people not to take the juice. We deem that as a threat. That's the kind of threat we're dealing in now. Not the actual direct threat of inciting violence, inciting violations of people's natural rights. We moved into the realm of, oh, you're a threat because you're black and you got big muscles. Black people are aggressive and strong and have big penises, and you might whack someone with your penis. So, look, mate, I'm sorry, but no blackies allowed in Australia. This is the kind of arguments we're making. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? But that is essentially the kind of arguments we are seeing being made. And you can see how we reach the point now where we are essentially using the security argument to implement the lockdowns, to implement the coercion, the violations of our natural rights, violation of bioethical standards. So I absolutely could see this coming along. Did I think it was going to happen just like that fast? Nah. But absolutely, this thing should not surprise anyone. And when you have a look at the very way that this world is set up, the people that don't have any skin in the game are at the front of power. And this is what it comes down to. You have a look at politicians. When was the last time you saw a politician being held accountable for saying he was going to do something if he went in power, even though he wasn't able to do that? It doesn't happen. Even if they're committing, if they say they will never start war on another country, then they get in power, and then they start war, which is unlawful, absolutely disgusting, and pretty much, well, all the situations that our politicians are starting war. Look, we need to invade Iraq because they're a threat to our national security. This kind of nonsense that we see. And these people are never held accountable for it. You have a look at the establishment when it comes to the people in the lab coats, right? They're often able to advocate. In fact, I see many of them doing this. Some of them are my friends. I have friends that are in the medical world, media world, that are advocating for lockdowns. They speak about all of their scientific mumbo-jumbo and use it to justify the violation of freedoms. Unethical. They're actually inciting violence. But they mask this in, the government obviously has to apply some level of restriction. And they're never held accountable for it because they know they don't have any real skin in the game. They know they're not going to be held responsible for what they're doing. And you think about the people that really have skin in the game right now, they're the anti-waxxers. That's right. They have skin in the game because they have so much to lose. You naughty anti-waxxers and your conspiracy theorists, if you guys are actually wrong about what you think is going on, and this thing is super dangerous, right? I mean, these are the people that are going to die. They're putting their very wrists on the line. Sorry, they're putting their very lives on the line. So I would say these are the people that should really be calling the shots because they're actually willing to stand by what they are preaching. Not only are they willing to talk the talk, but they're willing to go out there, maskless, many of them. They're willing to not get tested, shame on you. Not to get the jab, double shame on you. Not get the jab twice or thrice or even 4 times or 5 times in certain countries. Quadruple. 5 times shame on you. But they're willing to actually back up what they believe. And you know what? These conspiracy theorists, shame on you, they've been right pretty much every step of the way. Now, we could debate, and, no one's going to come to agreement in regards to the statistics and all that kind of stuff. But in regards to the things they've been predicting, they have been right on the money. The boom shakalaka passports, look, flatten the curve. It's not going to be a couple of weeks. They're going to start off by having a small amount of people getting boom shakalaka. Then it's going to get to 70, 80 or so %. And then those that are fully jabbed, the majority, are going to be inciting for those that are unjabbed to get the jabby. I predicted that. That's so obvious to see. It's a tactic. It's what the governmentalists love to use. You don't force people initially. You give them an incentive. Give them the carrot. And then when the majority have taken the jabby, then you bring out the stick and you smack those that won't fall in line. And eventually you create a narrative where we have the anti-waxxers and the waxxers. And the waxxers are advocating for complete and utter tyranny. This is such a brilliant manipulation of psychology. Some would call it mass formation psychosis. Some would call it hypnosis. Or just psychology 101. Ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting is Australia is calling Novak Djokovic a threat to the livelihood of Australia. This is the world that we're living in right now. I came across an article where the Serbian President Alexander Vuxic blasted the lying Australian authorities. Let me read out some of the statements he made. They are simply lying. They say there are fewer than 50% of boom shakalaka. He didn't actually say boom shakalaka. People in Serbia, and officially the number is 58%. Don't forget it's higher than in many European Union countries. That was a pointless argument, but that's possible in Orwellian performances. It's good to know that the Serbian president uses words like Orwellian. I think he knows what's up. Thank you to the Australian people, as I am sure they love Serbs. They think they have humiliated Djokovic, but they have humiliated themselves and can return to his country and look everyone in the eyes with his head held high. And what's interesting is that you have a look at the people that are really a threat to the nation. It's not Djokovic. It's people like Dan Christ Andrews. It's people like Scott Morrison that are actually advocating for violence, actually advocating for depriving people of their human rights. See, people often don't have the logical discernment, the rationality to discern between an actual threat, a legitimate threat that violates someone's actual human rights, and an amorphous threat. You see, the politicians deal in this realm of amorphous threat where they can make anything a threat and use that to justify evil. This is what the best villains do. It's like, let's go conquer this country because, look, they might... Oh, look, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that they're going to come and conquer us. They're going to rape our women. Oh, we gotta drop bombs on the Americans because they're going to come here and rape all our women. This is the kind of insanity versus, these people that are advocating for violence. You see, this would be a legitimate threat. When a government is telling you that unless, of course, you get the juice, they're going to come down and force you to take this stuff, or they're going to prevent you from leaving your home, which is actually happening. See, that's a legitimate threat. Not this, I think this might happen. Ladies and gentlemen, freaks and geeks, brothers and sisters around the world, we are in one hell of a roller coaster right now. And, I feel like we've just gotten up the top and we're just slowly going down. It hasn't even gotten to top speed yet. We've just slowly gotten things going on. Pretty soon it's going to get to the point where it is undeniable for what we are seeing. No one's going to deny the fact that it's just an eradication of our human rights. But they'll just do what we're doing at the moment and call you an anti-waxxer if you resist it. But what you're doing is wrong. It violates human rights. Oh, you're an anti-waxxer, mate. But you can't just rape someone. You can't... Oh, look, mate. What are you saying? You're against forcible rape? Oh, you an anti-waxxer? Oh my God, you're an anti-waxxer. Shame on you. But that's like universally just not... No, mate. Look, get out of here, mate. You're an anti-waxxer. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, click on the bell, tell your friends, drop us some comments, let us know what it is. Give us some donations, buy us a coffee if you appreciate this, if you like my silliness. Until next time, this is the Chocolate Noobs. Suya Namaskar. Namaste. Ow!
What is liberty?
What the? Who says you can't build muscle on a vegan diet?
What's it like being a hottie in the vegan community?
There are no political solutions, only technological ones.
The economics of the system don't allow multiple competing systems to survive.
Engineering, technology, these arts of humanity, they are magic.